Well, good afternoon. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ, the Old Friends Net. CQ, CQ, CQ. CQ, the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly. Sunday afternoon at 6:30, Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on this frequency. This net is conducted in the amplitude modulation mode and is carried out in the old-fashioned roundtable format. So any station capable of creating an AM signal is welcome to participate. And we will take a list, get everybody in order, and start the proceedings. So CQ, the Old Friends Net. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, standing by. Come now.
Send 4LQ.
W4GPL.
W4KR.
KG4IUQ. Portable 4.
November 5. WB4NKL.
K1VVC.
Okay, hold right there for just a second. Somebody after John, VVC, somebody doubled with YEV. Who was the other station?
Whiskey Foxtrot uniform.
Okay, Mayor, I have you. Let me tell you who I have so far, and we'll see who I missed or who else is there. LQ, JPL, KR, AK, IUQ, WD, NKL, VVC, YEV, and 2U. Who else?
K4 VWD.
Okay, we have Lee. Any others? All right, we've got KZ4B. Who else? All right, let me go through the list one more time. N4LQ, W4JPL, W4KR, N4AK. I'm having a blank. IUQ, N4WD, WB4NKL, K1VVC, KJ4YEV, WF2U, K4VWD, KZ4B. Any others? Okay, nothing else heard. Well, good afternoon to everybody. We have about 81 degrees and bright sunshine up here in the eastern jungles of Yancey County. I just got back from a week at the Cleveland County Fairgrounds and had a good time. For the latter half of the week, the weather could not have been any better, and certainly enjoyed seeing so many of you down there. A little bit of disappointment at the lack of sellers and dealer attendance, but all in all, we had a good time, and wouldn't have missed it. So let's start the ball rolling. Steve, here it comes. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Real good, Dave. And yeah, I had a good time all week. Popped in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I spent half a day there, and Saturday a few hours. Most of the traffic was Friday at the Hamfest, and I was impressed. I don't think I've ever seen so many boat anchors in one place. Just about everything was boat anchors. Wasn't a lot of new stuff, but that's all right. I can get that somewhere else. So had a good time. Saw a lot of people that I knew, and the weather was absolutely fantastic. So Anyway, we'll move it along here. W4JPL, John, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group. W4JPL. Well, good evening, everybody. We had a really good time at Shelby. I was down there with K4QE. We drove down both ways, or both days rather, and I think next time I think it'd be easier night in the hotel. That's a whole bunch of driving going on. By the time I got home both days, I was like beat to death. Missed a few things, but I did manage to pick up an old ICOM 551D 6-meter rig and an RME receiver, and both will be on the air. Need a little work, but that's okay. That's what you expect when you pick up all your gear. Had a great time seeing a bunch of the fellas, and talked about this, that, and the other. W4KR, W4JPL.
Okay, good afternoon, W4 JPL, the old friends group, W4KR, Walhalla. Well, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. Afternoon or evening. I guess it's, it's still daylight out, so I guess I'll say afternoon. Did not have the
opportunity to go to Shelby, but sounds like all that went had a great time, and the weather certainly was good. It was a good weather day, especially after the last 3-4 weeks we've had. Let's see, what else do we know? Don't know too much more. Temperature is about 89 right now, and it was 66 this morning, and that was good to see. And it looks like it's maybe going to begin to start calming down a little bit. Glenn, here it comes. N4AK, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, W4KR, November 4, Alpha Kilo. Right, you're running about 30 over 9 down here at Lake Lanier. We operating portable 4 this weekend and running about 100 watts. And I'm copying everybody just as well on the ranks. It seems like I'm also monitoring Web SDR out of Dahlonega just in case. So anyway, thank you, fellows, for putting all the pictures of Shelby on the air. It was a trip down nostalgia lane. Looks like a boat on for sale there this weekend. So it's 83 degrees here on Lake Lanier. So moving it right on to IUQ. This is N4AK.
Thank you very much, Glenn. You're sounding good from Lake Lanier. This is KG4IUQ, Mark and Shelby. Well, I went to the Ham Fest and I bought a few small items, multimeter leads, little switches, soldering iron, little circuit boards, battery clips, stuff like that. I even bought one tube. I was kind of, I thought it was very significant that about half or more of the people in the vendor building were gone. They're not there, and very significant to me. I enjoyed it, had a good time. I do think there's a change going on in our economy or something that's affecting the Ham Fest. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Bruce, N4WD. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, IUQ N4, the N4WD. Probably it's 88 degrees. Sunny, a few fluffy clouds here and there. Other than that, no breeze much today. Had good breeze yesterday when it got this temperature. I guess the days of CMF is taking a toll on us tonight. And you get auroras all the way down into Colorado and Missouri. That must have been a good one. They weren't really ready for it. So I hope everyone has a good, safe Labor Day weekend, and I'll give it to NKL, N4WD.
Okay, Bruce, N4WD, WB4NKL. I had a good time at Shelby. It was good to see a lot of the old friends down there. Mark, I didn't run across you, but
did see a lot of the other fellas and had a good time. Sold some stuff and bought some stuff, so that's I guess that's a successful ham fest. Perfect weather, like everybody else was saying. Guess I'll probably go over to Ron Beaver's having the thing over at the Antique Radio Museum next Saturday, so plan on going over to Asheville next Saturday. Maybe see some guys again. Go ahead, John. K1 VVC, WB4NKL.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cliff. WB4NKL, K1VVC. Was great seeing so many people over the weekend. The Hamfest itself, I thought, was very disappointing. I think that the attendance was terrible, from what I could see. I was there on Friday and Saturday, and there were more people selling on Friday than Saturday. A lot of the people who would normally show up just, because they work during the week and would come to the Hamfest on Saturday never showed up. And a lot of the old Friends group and a lot of the Boat Anchor group who were there on Friday never came back on Saturday. So I think the attendance was terrible. I've only been going there for 25 years, but there were a lot of empty spaces, and if anybody thinks any different, let me know. But the buildings were, like Mark says, the buildings were pretty empty, and a lot of the people that you would expect to see there were not there. But other than that, had a great time. The weather was perfect, and got to see a lot of people. And Mark's wife, Deborah, she made out real well with get some honey and some cream from Boone. So we had a nice visit with Mark and his wife at Boone's table. Over to Al, KJ4YV, K1VVC.
Thank you, John. K1VVC, KJ4YEV here. Yeah, I was at the Hamfest on Friday, but I wasn't able to come back on Saturday. I had a funeral I needed to go to on.
But I got here things were saying dealer participation seems to be down, but there was, like somebody else said, there was a lot of boat anchor stuff there. I did not come home with anything, but the only thing I came home with was a couple of books. But I enjoyed looking at everything and meeting some people. I got to meet Dave LRI for the first time, and also I met Near for the first time in person. So it's good meeting those two guys. And John, I know you were there because I saw your car tag in the video about that video that Steve sent around. I forget who made it, but Blue Gray Electronics or somebody. I saw your call sign on a car tag. So I know you were there, but I missed you. But anyway, I had a good time there. I'm glad it was not so unbearably hot. That's the first one I've been to in a long time when the heat was oppressive. So I was glad for that. And with that, I'll pass it on to Neil. WF2U, this is KJ4YV.
Roger, KJ4YV and the group. This is WF2U. Good afternoon, everybody. And of course, I just came in like 1 minute before the start of the net. I had to do some shopping at Lowe's in Greer for several projects. By the time I got home at Sunsburg, I almost ran out of time, so I didn't even turn on my tube stuff. I'm running the SGC SG2000 semi-military transceiver, putting out about a little bit over 100 volts of peaks on AM, and up and lower sideband on AM. Hold on 1 second. I think upper sideband will work better. Oh yeah, it puts out a little bit more as far as I can see. That's what I noticed before. Okay, so it's upper sideband with carrier. Anyway, that's instant turn on and instant power, so I didn't have to be too late. Regarding the, it's 32 degrees here, it's a beautiful day.
And regarding the Hamfest, I got there about 11, a little bit before 11 on Friday because I had things to do in the morning, and met almost all the suspects. And when I was around, I actually bought some little odds and ends at the wiremen, so I don't have to waste gas as long as I was there. They are actually about 10 minutes from my house. So, but I didn't have to go because they were already there. I needed some antenna insulators and a few connectors, coax connectors. We did that and browsed some nice thing, but I really didn't need anything. Almost anything that I saw, it was either low in price and I didn't need it, or high in price and I was debating whether I really need it or not, so I didn't need it. But I enjoyed it anyway. So Saturday I came back, also got there almost at 11 o'clock because I overslept an hour and a half. Must have been a little bit tired. I never oversleep. I mean, it's so rare that it's incredible. But I was very surprised when I got there. It looked like a Sunday noon, like everybody was was gone. More than half of the parking lot for the tailgating was empty. Vendors were not there, so I did a few rounds. Saw the same things basically, whatever was left there, and then I headed home. Oh yeah, I did my big purchase, which was an Electro Voice 622 mic that looked practically unused, and I can always use another actually low impedance dynamic microphone. I have several more modern transceivers, military, that these microphones work with, and I don't have to put up with the very, very narrow military mics for certain radios. Anyway, so that's the rundown. And everybody, I'm not going to give separate reports because everybody is at least S9, peaking up to over maybe 10, 15, over 9, sometimes 20, and we have very, very low noise. It goes to John, goes to Lee. K4VWD, this is WF to you.
Okay, this is K4VWD. It is 84 degrees here at my house and the sun is up, and glad to see it. And I also appreciate all the pictures.
Yes. Since I'm unable to go, it was really nice to see all those. And nobody has mentioned the big Canon knob I was looking for. And I guess that's a good thing because I got to looking at this knob and that insert is in there. So what I am thinking, I'm making a big assumption here that all of the set screws for the LMAC AF68 PMR8 are the same. So what I'm looking for is a set screw. So if you got any kind of knob with a set screw in it, I sure would like to have it. Let's see. Glenn, I read a couple of your articles over the last couple of days, and one of them is about the Curtis Jenny that ran into the stack of peanuts. But anyway, I've enjoyed reading those, and thank you for letting me have them.
let's see, everybody's got a good signal here so far. And don't forget, we got a lunch Thursday. So if anybody's got a black Air 68 PM08 knob, I sure would like to purchase it. So with that, we'll keep it going. So down to John, KZ4B, K4VWD.
Okay, K4BWD in the group. This is KZ4 Bravo, Fine Business Lee, usual good signal. We really enjoyed the Ham Fest. Weather was fantastic, very uncharacteristic for Shelby, where it's always too hot or rainy. And it's a shame the attendance was down despite the excellent weather. And I would attribute that to getting baked off with the hurricane. And I can't say this too much. Shelby's stupid setup for claiming your space, where you have to go over there a week in advance. If you don't live near Shelby, it's a real pain in the behind. And I'm sure that hurts attendance. And I wish the idiots could figure it out. I mean, somebody who knows these guys at Shelby, I'm sure they're nice people, but they need to cut that out, It just makes no sense. It made a lot of sense when, you had more people than space, but now we have more space than people. So the rules have changed. Keep up with the times, folks. Now I'll get back off my stump. But I really did have a ball, saw a lot of people, and it's more of a social thing now. I've got so much junk that, I don't buy that much. I buy a few small items and with great difficulty unloaded some stuff, but I did unload it. So it was highly successful. But Shelby really needs to, no other handcuffs that I know of has that stupid rule. And it needs to stop. But I think the attendance was vastly improved with this more money in the pocket of this Shelby club. And at the price of gas, and we only have so much time, it would be a great boon for all the attendees. So anyway, I know this almost sounds political, but they've been doing this forever. And like I say, in the old days, it might have made some sense, although I think it was stupid then. But now it makes absolutely no sense at all because, again, more space than attendees. Fix it. So, Dave, it's back to you. Good seeing you at the Ham Fest and all the other guys. I really, really enjoyed it. Thanks for calling the net. And we're copying you well today. WO4LLR in the group, KZ4B. Please sign me out. I've got the child call, November 4 Alpha Kilo, Portable 4. Thanks for doing the net.
Okay, Glenn, go have a good supper or dinner, whichever you prefer. All righty, let me take a quick standby. Do we have any other stations wishing to check in? Come now.
W4MEC.
Okay, I heard Charlie MEC and I heard a WA9. Would you repeat your call, please? Did anybody get the WA9's call?
WA9, you want to repeat yourself? I guess he's good for one time.
Okay. Maybe we'll get him on the next round. Charlie, go ahead and make a transmission, and you'll come after KZ4B next go round. So W4MEC, WA4LR.
Well, good day, WA4LR in the group, W4MEC. It's a little late checking in here. Was finishing up some dinner. Everybody's got a great signal. I started copying at W4JPL's transmission is when I got here, so I don't know who's between Dave and him, but I left me some spaces. Let's see. Made it to the Hamfest Saturday. My job.
Well, let's put it this way. I usually go with my two buddies, local buddies here for Shelby, and I was hoping to ride with friend number one because he has a normal car, but we ended up riding with friend number two, who's got a Tesla race car. And to be honest with you, me and friend one are lucky to be alive. So all he did was talk about that car the whole time there and the whole time back, and twice he almost stove it in there, and I was glad I was in the back seat because the front would have got crumpled. Maybe I wouldn't live, but it's an impressive vehicle, and it won some kind of Pikes Peak race a couple of years ago. It's a race car, and I tell you what, a Radio Flyer wagon over a washboard road has a better ride than that thing. So anyway, but we did make it there and back okay. I went to lunch at Bridges, which is their SOP for us. So let's see. Friend number two there was a fancy car. He had gone there to buy a FTDX101MP. I think that's the number. Yaesu radio, cash money in his pocket. And when we walked in the main air-conditioned vendor hall there, we had to put his jaw, find it on the floor, and stick it back on his face because there wasn't anything in there. And just empty tables and a couple of people selling odds and ends and antennas and connectors. And ARRL was not in its normal spot. And someone said they were still there, but they weren't in their normal spot. And I was going to talk to them, and I missed that opportunity to vent. But maybe that's good. Now, one fellow said, well, they were there Friday, but they probably got an earful and couldn't take it anymore and went home. So I was able to bring Lee. I was able to bring the two books to Dave, so I got that delivered to him. Let's see. I agree 100% with John's comment. The Shelby Fest is not in its heyday. It's long past its heyday, and they need to compress how they do things so they don't have this massive venue with you got to walk 4 miles to see everybody when they could just start at space number one and start assigning people by their sign-in date and just keep them all by the buildings there or something. But at the rate they're going, hurricane or not, that was a pretty sad situation. Saturday was the worst. I saw all the videos and the pictures, saying a lot of the gear that was there on Thursday and Friday was gone on Saturday, as were the people selling it. So that was quite a shock, and that kind of shortchanges people that have to still work for a living and can't get there till the weekend, you know. So, but maybe they'll sort it out. Let's see, that's about all I got to comment on that, at least all I can think about this time. So it goes back to you, Dave, WA4LR, and the group W4MEC.
One more shout out. Any other stations, come down. All right, we'll keep our ears open for the W89. Very good. Everybody has a great signal. And 7-3 to Glenn. Sorry you had to bug out for supper, but those are the conditions that prevail. Well, let's see. Charlie, sounds like you had a thrilling ride both ways, and sorry that the Tesla is not designed with comfort in mind. And I believe the ARRL was in the cattle barn, which I thought was a very appropriate place for them, and that's all I'll say about that. And John, the site selection is it's an interesting process. Lee, you're blasting in. Man, what a signal. I apologize. I looked all over creation for an AF67 knob. And you know, I didn't even see, an AF68, and I didn't see a single AF68 for sale. I saw some AF67s, but no 68s. But if nobody has one, I think I can provide you with a set screw for your knob that you have. And thank you so much for the books that came by way of Charlie. I always enjoy books on radio astronomy. And thank you for the reminder of lunch on Thursday. Going to try my best to be there. Got 2 doctor's appointments on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday, but I still plan to try my best to be there on Thursday. Mir, your military rig's doing a good job, and it was a pleasure to meet one of your dogs and spend some time discussing it. My wife has great regret that she was not able to be out there, but she was feeling under the weather Saturday and spent most of the day in bed in the camper. Al, it was nice to get to meet you as well. And John, I agree with you on the low attendance. Cliff, hope to be at the get-together at Asheville next Saturday as well. Bruce, great signal up here today. You're at least 10 dB over S9. Mark, glad you were able to pick up some parts and tools and other accessories. And I'm hearing just a little bit of hum, I believe, with your signal, but you may be familiar with that. Stan, miss seeing you down there, but maybe we'll see you at the luncheon. And John, glad you picked up a new toy to play with. Steve was there almost every day, came by several times, offered to help with any needs that we had, and I do appreciate that, Steve. Let's see. I managed to pass on a lot of stuff that I didn't want to keep carrying around to Hamfest. Cut prices on some things just to send them on down the road, but we did manage to lighten the load considerably on several things. And we did pick up a few odds and ends. I bought an SA 2060 Heathkit tuner, an HP 23B Heathkit power supply, an HQ 180 that I didn't need, but the price was too good to pass up. You know how those deals are. And a TS 2000, which it was another one of those where the price was way down. And I have a need. I've got something I'm looking for. The TS 2000 did not come with a microphone. I don't have any other Kenwood rigs, so I don't have any Kenwood mics. If anybody has a Kenwood microphone that would fit, it's an 8-pin, that would fit the TS 2000, a handheld or desk that they would be willing to part with, I would love to know about it. If you can bring it to the luncheon, I will certainly do my best to make a deal with you. So, anyway, let me go over a couple other things. Yes, we had a G2 level geomagnetic storm last night. Aurora's got down to about 38 degrees latitude, which is still a little bit north of us. Current conditions, sunspot count is 77. Solar flux index is 136. Keys 167. A couple of things from this day in history. On this day in 1976, the Viking 2 landed on Mars. On this day in, where is it? I'm trying to find. Here we go. 1894, Labor Day was celebrated as a legal holiday for the first time. On this day in 1783, Treaty of Paris between Britain and the United States was signed. And that's about all I'm going to run through because I've had this a long time. Steve, down to you, N4LQ, WA4LR.
Okay, Dave, WA4LR, N4LQ. I'm looking forward to getting to Mars and seeing that Viking 2. I've got a Viking 1 sitting right here. Don't have to go to Mars to see it. And okay, I'm needing a mic for a TS2000. What did I buy at Shelby? I got an AF68 which looks really good and actually works in a PMR8 to match it, and power supply. Wow. And that's something, it was hard to get. The old guy didn't want to sell, he didn't want to sell anything. Until the next day, he wouldn't sell anything. He was really interesting to deal with. But he finally gave up and sold the stuff. And also I got a Gonset G63, which is a really cool looking little receiver. Let's see. I want to ask Lee about his knob situation. Now you're saying you need a PMR8 knob. I wrote that down. So I don't know what that, if you're looking for, maybe it's the set screw you need. I don't know. But I'm glad you got a chance to look at that thing and see it actually did have the insert in it. But I did not see LMAC knobs anywhere. That would be kind of unusual unless somebody just tore one up and threw the knobs in a box. I never did see ARRL anything, but I wasn't looking for them and never do. I don't know what I would do if I saw them. I would suspect they would have been up there on the hill in that upper building. I did see a little bit of activity up there. There was a bunch of women selling quilts up there, and I guess that was part of the Hamfest. And the Cleveland County Club guys were there, and that's where I think maybe they were. I don't know. And the land rush, I have griped about that since day one. I've never understood the philosophy behind that. I think it's got something to do with being fair or something, but if they went online and sold them like Charlotte or Dayton did, it would be really nice. But when you look at the club members up there at the clubhouse up on top of the hill at the Hamfest, they're some of the older folks there, and they're probably not real internet savvy and either don't want to or don't know how, or you would think they would have somebody there that could make that work. But what do I know? I'm not a member of that club, and if I was, they'd probably throw me out because I would complain too much. Let's see. I guess the Tesla, Charlie, I bet you the reason that they don't ride very good is because they're so doggone heavy. I mean, the batteries weigh probably 1,200 pounds in that little car, and they got to have a real beefy suspension, and that sort of confuses everything. So I never heard anybody say they ride like a Cadillac. Anyhow, I did see some really nice looking cars there. I saw a Porsche and saw a new Chevy Blazer that was really pretty red thing, and some nice big Suburbans, and a lot of big money cars and a lot of big money RVs. I mean, by Thursday there was probably 15 or 20 RVs, trailers, fifth wheelers, and a lot of big motorhomes and things too. So that's something a lot of Hamfests don't have. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I found a very nice NC101X, National NC101X, the old black 1938 model. And the 101 was my first receiver as a novice. Well, I saw the thing, and he had it marked for, I think it was $100, and I said, I'll take it. And I opened the lid, and he just happened to look in there, and he said, wait a minute, I can't sell that thing. I said, why not? He said, well, look at that transformer in there. That's a Western Electric transformer. That's worth $500. And I said, well, okay. What's it there for? It really wasn't supposed to be in there. I think they were using it for a filter choke for the fuel coil. I said, if you want to take that out and cut your price in half, it's fine with me. So he did. He took the bottom off, took it out, and away I went.
So there you go.
And I'm going to make this my last. I got company, got my daughter and family here, and I'm going to spend some time with them. I'll probably be listening, but anyhow, I'll say 73s for now, and just get me on the next round. W4JPL, N4LQ.
N4LQ and the group, W4JPL. Okay, Steve, 73. I hope you have a good time with your family. It's 84 degrees still here, quite warm, quite humid, and not so pleasant outside. It's a good day to stay inside and work on radios and take a nap. Went down to Shelby with 4 R390s. I picked them up locally here in Greensboro, took them down to Shelby for some friends, and I agree with everybody else. The attendance was pitiful, both for sellers and buyers. Although we probably left around 10:30, 11 o'clock because I was beat to death, and people were still coming in, so maybe it got better towards the end of the day, but the attendance for sellers was sure down. So I guess that's just the way it is with some Hamfests. I heard that Huntsville was very well attended, and supposedly Perryville was too, but I didn't go to either one of those. I am going to make this my final transmission of the evening. I'm going to actually go downstairs and fire that RME up and listen to the rest of the net on that. So I hope everybody has a great and wonderful, safe week. God bless, and I'll catch up with you guys next week or next weekend. W4KR. W4JPL 73.
All right, thank you. Excuse me. W4JPL, W4KR. Berryville was one that was well attended, but as I hear, nobody spent any money. It's not a whole lot of stuff moved, but the weather was decent, and they did have a good turnout. Problem with Shelby is, and Steve and the other folks at Shelby, I don't say that what I'm about to say I don't say with any joy. I'm afraid that facility it's a lousy facility. Let's be honest about it. It's a lousy facility. They should have stayed over in Dallas. The building problem could have been very easily solved with rent a blow up building. Wouldn't have cost them a fortune, but no, they wanted to come back to Shelby, and you're seeing the results of it now. It's a tired old facility. We came back there from after the first year after Dallas, and to me it really looked like a dump, and I didn't want to come back anymore. In fact, I hadn't been back there since. But anyway, they got what they got. Huntsville knows how to put them on. They had super attendance, an awful lot of stuff sold, and it was a great facility. Atlanta doesn't seem to know how to put on a Hamfest. Both of those clubs won, and they've both failed now. So that's done. I guess Lawrenceville will be the test to see how that area does. Anyway, let's see, what else do I know? Oh, vendors. It's increasingly tough for vendors because their transportation costs are going sky high. I know that